Two men walk into a Bank of America in North Hollywood. They're wearing homemade body armor, carrying illegally modified rifles, and more than 3,000 rounds of ammunition. They expect resistance. What they do not expect is to trigger one of the most defining moments in modern American policing. Welcome to the Heist Vault. Behind every heist, there's a story. Some are clever, some are reckless. This one was real-life action. February 28, 1997, 9:17 a.m. North Hollywood, Los Angeles. It's a normal Friday morning. The city is already awake. Traffic is building. People are at work. Nothing feels historic. Until two men step out of a car wearing nearly 40 pounds of reinforced armor. Larry Phillips Jr., Emil Matasurianu. They've committed robberies before. Armored vehicles. Careful timing. Studied police response. But this time feels different. They aren't preparing for speed. They're preparing for confrontation. Under their clothes, steel plates. Kevlar. Layered protection covering torsos, arms, even legs. Their rifles? Modified to fire automatically. High-capacity magazines. This wasn't improvisation. It was preparation. They enter the bank calmly. Long coats. Neutral expressions. For a few seconds, no one notices. Then the rifles come out, and shots fired into the ceiling. And the room collapses into chaos. Customers hit the floor. Employees scramble. Orders are shouted. They demand access to the vault. But something goes wrong. The vault doesn't contain what they expected. Not millions. Roughly $300,000. Far less than planned. And while they argue with staff, a silent alarm is already ringing. Police are dispatched. When officers arrive, they expect a standard robbery. Maybe a handgun. Maybe a quick surrender. Something familiar. Contain. Negotiate. Arrest. Instead, the bank doors burst open, and the street erupts. Automatic gunfire echoes across North Hollywood. Officers dive behind patrol cars. Windows shatter. Concrete splinters. And what police don't realize yet is that this isn't even the most dangerous moment of the day. The real turning point is still coming, and it almost makes things much worse. Within seconds, something terrifying becomes clear. Their handgun rounds aren't stopping the suspects. The armor holds. The suspects keep advancing. They are completely outgunned. And this is the moment everything changes. Because up until now, this was a robbery. But when your bullets don't stop the threat, it stops being a robbery. It becomes survival. And what happens next forces officers to adapt in real time. News helicopters arrive quickly. Live footage interrupts morning programming. Across the country, viewers watch in disbelief. Two armored men walking down a suburban street, firing rifles at responding officers. Not hiding. Not fleeing. Advancing. Inside nearby businesses, employees huddle behind counters. Phones pressed to their ears. Whispers. Crying. They can hear the gunfire echoing through glass and concrete. And they have no idea when it will stop. Officers are pinned behind vehicles never designed to absorb rifle fire. These aren't tactical units in armored trucks. They're patrol officers. First on scene. Facing firepower they were never issued to confront. At one point, police enter a nearby gun store and take rifles to level the field. Think about that. Patrol officers borrowing civilian rifles to restore balance. The exchange stretches on. 10 minutes. 18 minutes in, SWAT team arrives. They were at a nearby training exercise when the call came in. They brought high-powered rifles and utilized a commandeered armored car to begin to rescue wounded officers and civilians. 20 minutes. 44 minutes total. Nearly an hour of sustained gunfire in broad daylight. By the end, more than 1,700 rounds are fired. 11 officers wounded. 7 civilians injured. Miraculously, no civilian deaths. Phillips continues firing until his rifle malfunctions. Wounded. Surrounded. He takes his own life before officers reach him. Madasarinu attempts to flee in their vehicle. Police disable it. Another exchange follows. He is shot multiple times and later dies from his injuries. At this point, you might think this was chaos. 2 reckless men. Too much firepower. Too much ego. But this wasn't random. It was studied. Timed. Rehearsed. They had analyzed police response times. Modified weapons. Reinforced armor. Some investigators later believed they expected confrontation, and may have been prepared not to survive it. And here's the detail most people miss. When the vault underdelivered, they didn't retreat. They escalated. That tells you something. The money may have started the plan, but control became the objective. This is the difference between a heist and an assault. A heist tries to outsmart the system. This tried to overpower it, and the system adapted. The aftermath reshaped law enforcement across the United States. Before 1997, most patrol officers carried handguns and shotguns. Rifles were reserved for specialized units. That changed quickly. Departments began issuing patrol rifles. Body armor standards improved. Response protocols evolved. Not gradually. Immediately. The outcome was tragic, but the response reshaped modern policing standards nationwide. And that legacy continues today. If they had surrendered early, this would have been a headline for a week. Instead, it became a turning point. For 44 minutes, the balance of power tilted, and then it shifted back. Overconfidence feels invincible, until resistance adapts. This wasn't the biggest robbery in history. They didn't escape. They didn't disappear. But they exposed a gap and forced change. Sometimes, impact is louder than escape. The vault is closed, but the lesson remains. Preparation matters, but so does restraint. This is the Heist Vault, and this file remains one of the most explosive robberies ever recorded. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing what's inside the next vault.